Hey, hello there. Happy Monday. Damon, how are you, dude?
I'm doing great, Curt. Ready to go.
All right. Welcome to Stop Being the Best Kept Secret. Do you ever feel like you're the best kept secret?
Yes.
You do? I'm just a secret. I'm not the best kept secret. No, I'm just kidding. So let's
Yeah,
dive
that's what we
in.
mean. I would be a secret, but not the best secret.
Yeah. Now hey, you know what? In my book, you are the best kept secret. Well, you're just the
You
best.
as well.
You're not a kept secret. You're just the best. So, all right, let's dive in. If you ever referred to yourself as like, gosh, we make this product, a solution where you just, our customers, we've been doing this for decades. Our customer just love us, adore us, all these great things. And you're like, man, I just wish more people would discover our solution. And that's therefore, how do we stop being the best kept secret? One of the big things we want to do is like dive into that ideal buyer persona. At
Yep.
B2B Tail here with our Stop Being the Best Kept Secret, we call them
Soulmates.
our soulmate. So, Damon, let's dive into the soulmate. So first off, why is understanding that soulmate, that ideal buyer, why is that just so mission critical?
Well, if you don't know who's buying from you or that person, what they're really looking for, the things they need to make an informed decision, you're just going to be saying stuff in your marketing or talking about stuff that they really don't care about.
That's right. So you want to get hyper focused and trust me, it's challenging, right? It's you and I, we were talking with a client the other day and she was giving us great constructive feedback on things that we could be doing better. So
Mm-hmm.
like, I don't know, I'm sure there's major companies that have this completely figured out, but for us smaller businesses that are working relentlessly, tirelessly, we don't have the $100 million marketing budgets, might not even have a $100,000 marketing budget. We're just trying to like how to figure out how to stop being best kept secret. So I want to dive into becoming that ideal buyer. Let's go through some steps. Okay.
Yep.
And so, Damon, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen and let's run through like a little exercise here. So
All right.
you can see my screen. Okay. Right.
Yes, I can.
Okay, excellent. So what we have here, B2B Tell, we have what's called the digital game plan. This is just a wonderful, powerful tool that we offer to each and every single one of our clients. It's completely free. We have a free link on our website. If you go to b2btell.com, little link right at the top says, hey, grab your free digital game plan. And what we do is we built out this tool with our clients in this tab that we're looking at right here is how do you build out your soulmate, that ideal buyer? Damon, let's go through a couple of steps, right? So first off, we always say this, when you try to be everything to everybody, what do you become?
You are nothing to no one.
Nothing to nobody. So we really want to niche that down. We say
Yeah.
niche down till it hurts. Man, it's really painful to niche down. But just talk about like, what are some of the characteristics that we want to identify for that buyer persona?
Well, we want to identify, first of all, their role in an organization. Where are they at? What do they do? What are their daily challenges that directly affect what you might provide and the challenges that you might be able to help them with, that people that could help them even. And then just the companies, the kind of companies they work at, the challenges that they have, the different things that really make a difference to them in the day. And because once you learn that really well, you can help them be more successful.
Yeah, completely. Hey, our dear friend Diane Byer dropped by.
Diane,
hey,
how are
happy
you?
Monday, Diane. So, hey, welcome to the show. Happy Monday to each and every one of you. Happy Monday to you, Diane. Appreciate you, my friend, more than you can imagine. And so, if you're out there, drop us a note. Let us know where you're at, where you're coming from. But let's dive in a little bit deeper because what's common is you talk to folks who are like, hey, what's the service you provide? What's the solution that you deliver to your customers? And so let's say like CNC machining, or we do fabrication, or we do circuit board manufacturing. And you're like, well, gee, who or what do you CNC for? Well, we can CNC for everybody, or we can make circuit boards for everybody. But when you look at like your customer base, right? Like Damon, the old 80-20 rule, right?
Yep.
20% of your customers typically derive 80% of your profits and sales. So if you look at that top 20%, what industry are you focusing on? What specific parts are you like really exceptional at?
Mm-hmm.
That's where we want you to focus. Number one. Number two is if you're like, well, here's the department that we're always hitting. right? Or it's like it's HR. Well, like who in HR? Like what's that person? What
Yeah.
did they have for breakfast this morning? What type of coffee do they drink? So Damon, let's go through some of the steps, like some of the demographic information, bio. Let's dive into some of these things. What are some things as for folks that can download this for free? They can grab a complete free copy and they're filling this out. What are some of the things that they should be focusing on?
Well, I think you hit some of them here. The frustrations, they're pain points both at work and in life in general, potentially, because we do have all the people that buy from us, whether we like to look at it or not, they have personal and professional lives. And sometimes that crossover is very important for us. Mm-hmm. And then you look at their motivations. What are they trying to do? That's really important. Are they trying to, bump their career level up? Are they trying to look good? What are they trying to do? And then another one that's really important that I don't actually see, I know it's down lower, but it's like, where do these people hang out? Where do they get their information? What do they typically search for? So, if you've got someone that's 25 years old as your target is a person you're trying to identify here, then they may be in the Instagram crowd. They may be in the snapshot crowd if you're looking at social channels. And if you're looking at somebody that's in their 40s or 50s, they may be in the Facebook crowd, a little bit in the Instagram crowd. You always have to think about where they're at and where they're getting their information from, because you want to be there in some of those things. And then you've got some really, really, really important points in there. Their role in the buying process, and there's factors that influence the buying process. Those are two very important things, and how they go through the process, right? Are they the ultimate decision maker? Are they a champion for your product or service? Where are they at in that process, and how do they help with that?
Yeah, boy, you're covering a lot of great points here. So again, let's do a quick recap. Is focusing on that buyer, right? So if you're targeting entrepreneurs, right, they have a whole different set of challenges that they face, right? Compared to, say, somebody that works for a company or a corporation. Well, they might not have the same challenges, but they still probably have things that they lose sleep over at night, right? Yep. And so a couple, like the point you made was like, if I work for a large corporation and I'm looking for somebody to, fabricate metal, CNC some machining, and, maybe my quarterly bonus is based on finding a good provider. Maybe, our current provider, who I just found 6 months ago, is completely dropped the ball. Now my reputation is on the line. I have to go find another company to appease my boss. So am I appeasing a boss? Am I trying to hit quarterly bonuses? Am I an entrepreneur? Or, so who is that ideal buyer, that soulmate that we're hitting, right? And we've got some comments here that I'm going to pull up, Damon. So we've got Pavan is here today. Hope you're both off to a strong Monday. Same right back at you, my friend Pavan. Hope you're having a great Monday to you. Catherine says happy Monday. And Diane Fire, our dear friend, says digital game plan, game changer, really helped us. Thank you. Thank you, Diane. Man, that means a lot. So Catherine says, hey, congrats for the amazing work. Congrats to you, Catherine. Yeah. And kind regards from Brazil. So, all right, guys. Hey, happy Monday to everybody. Keep the comments flowing. If you have any questions whatsoever. Damon, I want to talk about niching down till it hurts, right?
Yep.
Talk a little bit, because I'm gonna share my right knee story. But share, like, why is it so important to like really laser focus on this ideal buyer and to stay in your lane?
Yeah, because if you don't, you're saying general stuff, like at real top of the funnel, general things about your industry. You're not speaking to the exact kind of things that you help people with, the problems you solve. And because if I'm trying to talk about, I'll just say whatever it is, I'm making metal fabrication. Mm-hmm. I don't just let's come to mind, right? So I'm do metal fabrication. Yeah, that's great. I can bend metal and weld stuff up and make great, whatever. Now, if I say I do metal fabrication for the medical industry on precise components in stainless steel and other, medically approved metals, blah, 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 blah. Now it's like the first one is like, who really is your customer? Why should I care about you other than you're just making stuff? And then down at the second one, it's like when you get really, really specific, when someone finds you, they go, that's who I want, or that's not who I want, real quick. And that's
Right.
it, simple.
It's that simple. So again, like if you have certifications, you do ITAR, you have different ISO standards, you have different, whatever that certification might be. Maybe it's something in security, whatever it might be, right? When you can like laser hyper focus on what you're absolutely best at, what are your God-given talents, what are your superpowers, and again, the more that you niche down, now I understand that ideal buyer. I can move the needle by helping those folks. Damon, how about the right knee story? Can I share the right knee story?
Let's do that.
This is one of my favorites. So, dear mutual friend of ours, his name is Max Krug. Max is just a wonderful guy. When I first met Max, probably 10, 15 years ago, I was doing like a little LinkedIn workshop. It was an in-person workshop. And we went around and this gentleman who's now a dear friend, he's been on the show multiple times.
Yeah.
He was like, hey, could I get an appointment? Can we do a one-on-one jam session together? I'm like, of course we can. So we meet up. He comes to my office and I'm sitting there and I'm like, well, tell me about your business. And he does Theory of Constraints. If you remember that book, The Goal, that came out in the 80s, like, dude, you got it sitting right there, right? I've got it up there somewhere. So phenomenal book. If you haven't read it, it's called The Goal and it's about theory of constraints. Well, he's a theory of constraints expert. And I'm like, well, tell me about your business. He's like, well, I'm a theory of constraints expert and I want to be the right knee guy of theory of constraints. And he just kept on going, talking. And I'm like, what? Wait, what did you say? Right knee? Like, what is, I don't know. Would you know what a right knee guy is? Like, am I the dummy or what? Like, would you know?
I wouldn't have known.
He goes, I want to be the right knee guy of theory of constraints. I'm like, all right. I call the timeout. Dude, you got to explain what the right knee guy is. Well, he goes, well, and Max is like this big, burly, athlete guy. He goes, well, if you were ever injured, who would you go to? If you blew out your right knee, am I going to go to, pediatrician, general doctor? He goes like, no, we're in Buffalo Bills country for our football fans here in the United States, our American football. So he goes like, I want to go to the doctor that takes care of like the Buffalo Bills. Like I want to go to the authority. Like I don't want to go to somebody that's just like this general, like might be able to help me. I want to go to a guy who's so specialized that like he's going to get me back on the field and fix my right knee as quickly as possible. He goes, that's what I want to be. He goes, if you've hurt anything else on your body, I can't help you. If you've hurt your left knee, I don't know a thing about it. But boy, gosh darn it, if you hurt your right knee, I'm the world-renowned authority on the right knee.
Yep.
I want to be that for theory constraints. I want to be the right knee guy. Bam. It was like a brick to the head. I had like this massive aha moment. I've used that right knee story. I probably owe Max. If I gave Max like $1 every time I use that story, like I owe him thousands. But it's a great analogy of thinking about like if you injured yourself, who are you going to go to? Well, how could you be that specialized world-class expert in your field? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, you really need to niche down to that point because when you do, your playing field becomes clearer, right? If I am that same metal fabricator for small medical devices with certain materials and certain processes or whatever, or certain parts of the body, even whatever is the right descriptors, you get down to that right knee example and it's real easy. People come to you not because you got a finger problem, not because you got an elbow problem, because you got a right knee problem. And when they come to you, they know that they're going to the expert in the right knee. That's the cool part about it is if I am the company that does CNC 5-axis machining of hard metals like titanium for complex aerospace applications in a certain size range. I mean, it's hard for somebody to come there and go, hey, can you make my boat part for this out of aluminum? They're going to look at you like, what did all this stuff say coming to us? Right. It helps people really find you. And then in the converse, when someone is in that industry and they look at you and they go, wow, look at this. They do what I need. They've got the certifications I need. They talk in the language I do. They're going to go, I feel like they know me.
Right. I have a classic story. So it was last summer. I have a young daughter and we run into this young man. He's college age. and he's got this big brace. I'm like, oh, dude, like, what? He's a big athlete, football player at like a Division III college.
Yeah.
I'm like, what happened? He goes, oh, I blew up my right knee. I'm like, really? What? Well, I'm getting it repaired. Well, I'm going to the guy that takes care of the Buffalo Bills because my right, like he sits there and tells me the right knee story, like back to me, and like I didn't bore him with, this, but I'm dying because like here's this kid hurt his right knee. What does he tell me? Well, I didn't go to anybody. I went to the guy that's taken care of. So he went to the right knee guy. Yeah. So I absolutely love that analogy. I love geeking out on this buyer persona. Like Diane Buyer, our dear friend, like she's our soulmate out there, and we just, what the takeaway today is just get laser focused on who you really help, who do you move the needle for? And then, tagline that we love to use is how do you out teach the competition? So when you come out and you do like a live stream, when you do a podcast, when you put out content, when you do a LinkedIn post, you're speaking directly to that soulmate and you're saying, hey, soulmate, listen, I understand the pain, the challenge, the frustration that you're going through. I have your back. This is what we're trying to do to help you move that needle. And we strongly encourage you to take that approach. It's how you build trust. It's how you move the needle, help your clients. Damon, takeaways as we close out. What are your thoughts?
No, I think that's just, understanding your ideal buyer is so important. It is a starting point for most of the work you're going to do. Even when you think about designing products and services, right? If you know your buyer better, you're not going to design products and services that they don't need or don't want. And it really helps a lot. And I think from that standpoint too, if you know your buyer well enough, you can design products or services that they don't know that they need, but when they see them, they will love them. Yeah. Which is a huge blue ocean thing.
Drop the mic right there, Damon. You say that again? You can do what?
Well, if you really know your buyer well, you can develop products and services that they need that they don't even know they need until they see them.
Man, moment of silence, my friend. That was a good drop the mic. So, okay, we are going to, what am I going to do? I'm going to stop sharing and we're going to close out for today. So first off, thank you everybody for joining us.
Thanks for being here today, everyone.
Thank you, Catherine Pavan, Diane Buyer, my dear friend. Thank you all, everybody out there that didn't drop a comment. We appreciate you, hear you, see you. Thank you. We're back here Friday. We have an incredible guest here, Damon. We have John Leroy from Apparel Redefined. Woo! And so can't wait to dive in. So Diane says, hey, you can't help everyone, but when you help your soulmate, you can help them exponentially. Diane, drop the mic to you, my friend. That was a great comment right there.
Awesome. Thank you.
That up. So, all right, Damon, takeaways, thoughts. What should everybody be working on this week as we close out?
If you haven't already, grab your digital game plan off the b2btail.com website and get started thinking about that ideal buyer.
That's right. So, okay, guys, have a great, amazing, incredible week. God bless you. We appreciate you. And we will be back here Friday. Drop Damon a note, connect with Damon on LinkedIn, drop myself a note. I'd love to connect with you on LinkedIn. And we will see you guys back here on Friday. Peace.